This is how much we don't know about the ocean. In 2020, I think it was, we had a fisheries biologist go down to Antarctica and discover a new species of killer whale that had never been seen. For example, when I was with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, we pronounced it NOAA. We had a program called the Ocean Exploration and Research Program with a dedicated ship, and it had a deep diving ROV, remotely operated vehicle, with high resolution cameras and other instruments, and we purposely go look for things. And every year we found new species, whether it be deep coral or new types of fish.
A new species of killer whales.
Yeah.
Have you been to Antarctica?
For example, when I was with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, we pronounced it NOAA, we had a program called the Ocean Exploration and Research Program with a dedicated ship, and it had a deep diving ROV, remotely operated vehicle, with high resolution cameras and other instruments, and we purposely go look for things. And every year we found new species, whether it be deep coral or new types of fish. And get this is how much we don't know about the ocean. In 2020, I think it was, we had a fisheries biologist go down to Antarctica and discover a new species of killer whale that had never been seen. So this isn't like just some small weird microbe. There's all sorts of things we've never seen before.
A new species of killer whales.
Yeah. Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
Have you been to Antarctica?
I've not. I've been in the Arctic. I've been in the Arctic on a sub. So I've surfaced. I've been up there on the ice camp that they have up there.
What's up there?
The Arctic?
Yeah.
Well, okay. I was there because the U.S. Navy every 2 years conducts an exercise called ICE-X, and it's to basically study some of the dynamics of ice and as well as the tactics of operating under the ice, which we need to refine when you look at what Russia's doing. And so, but there's a lot of things to discover too. Again, on the seabed, new geologic features. There are, again, all sorts of sea life under the ice too. I mean, we could talk about a million things about what's in the ocean.
Let's go.
Well, shoot.
Let's do it.
Here's something I was pretty proud of. So because we don't know so much about the ocean, and here I was in the Trump administration, and I'm with an environmental science agency. So it was kind of a tricky place to be. He was not keen on major funding to science agencies. The White House proposed a lot of cuts to our budget. Congress always put the money back in. But we were looking for good ways to show leadership and advance the ocean that would appeal to his administration. And so one of the things I led was a national strategy to map and explore the ocean, or the U.S. ocean, which is our exclusive economic zone. And the White House approved it, and we put together a plan, a team, and it's still being executed. And so we didn't even know only about 40% of the seafloor in the U.S. had been mapped, and now we're getting near 50. And why that matters is, first of all, submarine navigation, or navigation, period, ships. Submarines, too. We had two submarines. One was the USS San Francisco in the early 2000s, and then later the USS Connecticut in the early 2020s. Both collide with undersea seamounts, sustained major damage, hundreds of millions of dollars. In the San Francisco's case, one sailor was killed because of just 35 knots, boom, he sustained a head injury. And that's how much we don't know about the ocean and why we need to do it. And I even wrote an article about the fact that China is mapping and exploring the ocean heavily in the Western Pacific. And if they know the ocean better than us, we're going to have a hard time with them. You know, think about this. High ground in ground warfare provides a tactical advantage, right? And the ocean has a high ground too. If you know the acoustic properties and the seabed well, then you can use that to your advantage in predicting the acoustic and optical paths of sensors and avoid counter detection and maximize your ability to detect the adversary. So you need to know the ocean just like you need to know terrain in your old line of work. Mm-hmm. And so that's it. So getting a better feel for what we know, it matters for national security, and it matters for a lot of cool science. We have some of the the best managed fisheries in the world in the U.S., especially in Alaska. And we need to understand the nature of the fish, where they're moving into certain places. We need to understand what their habitat is like, so we know where they'll be and we don't overfish them. There's all sorts of reasons to map and explore the ocean, and those are just a few.
Yeah. What are some of the things you've encountered?
So there's some other interesting ocean things I've seen and done. And a lot of this is credit. I give credit to my wife, Karen, who was a Navy diver doing salvage. She was a diving officer. She's recovered aircraft from the floor of the Mediterranean, the seafloor, and done some hard stuff. She's my inspiration, and she's the reason actually I even speak up about UAP. I had no idea. I had no intention of doing it, and she just said, "Tim, you've done some things. You have a voice. Why don't you do it? Why don't you go contact Avi?" And so I give her that credit. But also because she was a former Navy diver, and we met getting our graduate degrees in oceanography at Scripps, that's just what we do now as a family. We do ocean stuff. And so I joined her. We did a week-long cage diving expedition off Guadalupe Island with great white sharks.
Oh, man.
How
was that?
It was amazing. And this is...
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, it was, there's so much to say about it. But the neat thing that I was proud of is it wasn't just some adventure tourism deal. I actually found the people who do it through my old agency, NOAA. One of the women who worked at our Fisheries Science Center in San Diego, she had a nonprofit job doing marine scientific research investigating specifically great white sharks. And this was part of a 20-year time series where the scientists had been photo-identifying individuals in the population by the markings on the side of their body, because they're kind of dark on the top, blue, and then they're light white on the bottom. And it's like a zebra. They have it's unique to each individual, the pattern. And so they had been photo IDing all the individuals, and it's a really important scientific endeavor because the apex predators in a population, if you can understand their health, certainly at an individual level, you'll have a very good indicator of what the entire ecosystem's doing. And so we went down there, we took our GoPro data, and they downloaded it and used our data. But it was also just extraordinary. These animals are as big as buses.
Time is a funny thing. It's so limited, and yet we let it pass by us. We're all guilty of putting important things off until later. If you've been putting off life insurance, check out Fabric by Gerber Life. They make it fast and easy so you can check it off your list right now. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today. Made for busy parents like you, all online and on your schedule right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. Fabric is partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families just like yours for over 50 years. There's no risk, there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. And they have over 1,900 five-star reviews on Trustpilot with a rating of excellent. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/srclips. That's meetfabric.com/srclips. MEET fabric.com/srclips. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
Of course, they're like weapons with their teeth, and they're interesting. I remember we had a day travel from Ensenada, and we had 3 days of diving, and a day travel back. And I remember thinking on the way out, we're gonna have 3 days in the water. I'm probably gonna get bored after the first day. I'm gonna see the same stuff all the time. No way. Now I know, because these animals are coming right up to you, and they're just doing what they do in the wild, and they're majestic and beautiful. But now I know why bungee jumpers do what they do, because I just wanted to get in the water like constantly and see those things. They're never disappointing.
Man.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Was that pure pleasure, or were you down there to study?
I was there again for that nonprofit to help with their scientific study of the animals.
Yeah.
So I had to pay for it, but it was a contribution to that science institute.
Cool.
Marine Conservation Science International is what they're called, MCSI. Interestingly, and I didn't know this back then, I wish I did, but that's Guadalupe Island off Baja California is a hotspot for UAP.
Is it really?
All the fishermen around there, they see them all the time. Yeah, you Google that and you get tons of hits. So that was one, and then thankfully Karen and I now we just again we take our girls. They're all scuba certified. We've been free diving with bull sharks off Florida. We've been scuba diving with Caribbean reef sharks off in the Bahamas, and then just recently Galapagos Island and hammerheads.
Very cool.
Which is
Very
great.
cool.
Yeah. So this is and our next trip is to Fiji and the Republic of Palau to do some diving. And we were in Palau last and saw some really magnificent black-tip reef sharks up close and personal. So that's what we do for fun.
What are some of the things you've encountered as an oceanographer that you know?
So here you go. When I was
keep you up at night.
Oh, keep me up at night. The nature of the ocean doesn't keep me up at night. It's our adversaries who want to exploit the ocean to harm us or our allies. For example, Chinese illegal fishing is destroying economies all around the world, especially in Pacific Island countries. I wouldn't say it keeps me up at night, but it is a big issue that even our DoD, the Navy, is working to combat with the Coast Guard. There's a funny thing about that question, Shawn. So I served in the same administration as Secretary Mattis when he was the Secretary of Defense. Great guy. That was one of the questions he answered early on in his tenure as SecDef. Someone said, "What keeps you up at night?" And he said, "Nothing keeps me up at night. I keep other people up at night."
Right on.
He's great. He's the best. Yeah. I got to serve with some fine people in the Trump administration. Secretary Mattis was one. General John Kelly, the first chief of staff, he was Homeland Security chief initially. Great person there. He was a mentor for a month-long course I took at the National Defense University. Great person, and there are others too.
Well, what are you finding under there UAP-wise?
UAP-wise,
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Yeah.
So again, I only know of the examples I've just shared, and then there's some classified examples I can't talk about that I know of. Basically, like you see in the atmosphere, you see large craft, different shapes. The reports have been different lighting configurations sometimes, and so yes, it seems to be the variety of the nature. It seems to be as diverse as it is up in the atmosphere. That's what seems to come through. And again, if we've seen so much through the published literature and then the documented accounts recently, then there may be not just maybe the tip of the iceberg.
What do you think these are?
Yeah, right.
Are they man-made?
I don't know. No. Well, first off, no. I don't know. That's why we need to study it. And these organizations I'm with, supporting their research. But as this topic gets explored more and more, and I engage with people that are that have been read in or have somehow touched the programs. We have a very active discussion going on daily about this very question. What are they? And I mean, there's some possibilities. They could be from an extraterrestrial source. Again, we don't know the physics on how that could be. Some people have speculated an interdimensional origin, which I don't understand either. But again, since we really don't know all there is about physics, possibly there's something there. And then there's a really interesting theory and I'll encourage your listeners to check it out. There's an article in The Debrief from early this year, 2024, by a guy named Bernardo Kastrup, and it's a really well-written essay where he speculates that, well, all right, what's the most likely source? Well, if intergalactic travel is not possible, then it could be that these things originated before we evolved, before life as we know it evolved. So they think there's a period around 750 million years ago where, due to this recycling of the continents, if you will, that there's no fossil evidence for. And so there's a period a billion years ago or more that we just don't have any fossil evidence of. And he conjectures that possibly an advanced technology civilization evolved. And that's not a stretch when you think we're an advanced technology civilization, I think, kind of, and we've evolved. We're here now. So if you know we can do that, then go back even a billion years and perhaps that could have happened. And when they saw things getting dicey, because there's so many cataclysms that have happened. You look at the dinosaurs and the asteroid that wiped off a large portion of the Earth. There have been other extinction events, and then less cataclysmic, but even severe, like about 12,000 years ago. This climatic period called the Younger Dryas, where the Earth's temperature dropped a lot, and you can see evidence of that in geology and so that was an event where a large part of the Earth's life was exterminated. So the Earth's pretty hostile. You look at the volcanoes in Iceland, you look at asteroid impacts of the past, and maybe this advanced technology civilization said, we're out of here. We're going to go create a habitat down deep, or maybe on Mars or in the moon, and just get somewhere more stable. And maybe they've just been able to live, and we've not found evidence of it yet, or that these things are evidence of that.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.